All right, well, let's see where we are. We're doing a nice bear flag here. So did you guys see the value area shifted a little bit higher? Just a tad bit. It should be the same pretty much. These should be unchanged. Okay, so these are the levels we got. It seems like POC might have shifted a little bit. Not much. What's the POC that you guys
Hey,
got?
Shorty, can I ask you a real quick question? When we've got like almost 3 months on this thing, are you using still 65 minutes to find the points? Are you going to 4 hours or what?
So I'm increasing right now. I'm on 2 hours. You have to be able to see the candles, right? If I
Right.
go on 65 minutes and I squeeze this, I no longer see candles, right?
Mhm.
My rule is if I can see the candles like I'm able to now, like this is pretty good for me. And the worst case is, we're over a month. You could definitely use 4 hours and chart it. I don't think the difference is going to be drastic. Like
Okay.
here's your 4 hours, and it's right here. POC is right on, so it's subtle difference, right? See this?
I think it
So,
affects mostly the SIGs more so than the
yeah,
POC.
POC, correct. And it's only gonna impact mainly. It's gonna impact, I would say, the outside more than inside. But
Yeah.
it's not that big of a difference. But let's see. All right, so we updated that. It seems like that sig is on the point. Let's see. All right, so nothing really changed today, obviously. We needed to go. So if you guys think about it, this is our Tuesday double distribution day. What did we say? Do you guys remember what I talked about double distribution? And this watch list will be fairly quick, just so you guys know. But when you have a double distribution day, you should know this by now. If you're new or not, I think I preach it enough. It's ping pong in between. What did I say if this gets broken? If you're here, you dump down, you accumulate, and they break this. Anyone remember?
Don't get in the way. Get out of the way. They're going
Get out of the
higher.
way if they break this. So
Right.
now, if this is my first distribution of Tuesday, right? This is our Tuesday distribution, and this is my second. It's the same is true here. If we are able to reclaim this successfully, and that's what I thought they're going to do today. When I saw that they tested this here, right, and I'm on 30 minutes, but if you look at this, they had a nice little test right here, and I was like, okay, well, there's probably a high chance they did go towards the 75-ish level, but I thought here that they're going to go and smack the 86 and hit the higher volume node here, meaning reclaim it. But there's just no confirmation, like at all. So for you, trading wise, this is key tomorrow. You want to make sure that you reclaim this zone, let them go up, let them hold, and then you can drive this. I mean, this would be 20 points, guys. Maybe a little bit more, actually. It'd be about 30 points. And this here is your VPOC, right? It's still here. And I guess you have a VPOC here as well. Okay. So on this type of shape, right, it's really irregular, right? I don't put a lot of emphasis. I treat it more like a B shape, even though, it's on an upper distribution. But where do we close? If you guys just take a look at it.
Just below the POC.
Just below the POC. So it's really like we have no idea which way we want to go. And if we open the way we're opening now, what would you guys watch for?
Test of that POC and down for short.
What does it tell you about the type of day you're going to have?
Inside. Well, yeah, it's accepting the value, so it'll likely stay inside.
So most likely you're gonna range here. Let me just go to 30 minutes for a second. Most likely you're gonna be ranging inside here. And if this stays true, you're gonna have the same range as this. Your day range is gonna be the same as value area. So, and I mean, we've had some pretty volatile days, right? You went down, you're coming back, I would say. Where are we on the fibs? So, I mean, you're right there. You're rejecting the 50, right? So if you're able to reclaim this 50, especially if you lose this SIG here, I'm pretty sure you can catch this 94 and be done with it. But, you know, retail is focused, I would say, maybe on something like this right now. Right, so this was a nice bear flag. Now we break it. Let's see, you know, if they come back here, might not be a bad short here. If they bring it back out for overnight, right? And then the CPOC here has been pretty vital. Just make sure you know this 53. I don't have it on my charts. I mean, I'll put it here just in case you guys use my charts. But this level here is fairly important. I would just say here. Let's make sure it's all right. Okay. So I'll be bullish if you're able to hold this up here, like break this cloud and close and come back. That would be ideal. Something if they could do like this, come back on a trend line, and then you could catch this move. I'd be looking for this. And you have this node here that most likely will be the rejection point right here, and then come back and then see if they can take out this high, and then I'll probably go along here. Okay. Obviously, look at the VPOC tomorrow. If we're opening, you know, if we open above it tomorrow, the sentiment's somewhat bullish, but you know, the value areas are shifting higher. If you guys can tell, right? The value area shifted, the POC shifted, and then when you look at the volume on the daily, I would say, I mean, it's higher volume. It has almost like a stopping candle, right? So clearing this SIG here, which is also your PDH, right, at this point, would be a bullish signal for them to go.
Look at the like the first 30-minute candle volume. It's been the highest it's been in 6 months.
This right here.
Yeah, like the sell volume.
Yeah, it's
I think
pretty
that pumped
heavy.
it up. Yeah, it's super heavy.
Yeah, as long as they hold this, I guess 53, my bias is somewhat bullish. So as soon as they lose this, right, I think things open up, you know, all the way to 43, and that's what they did kind of today, if you guys remember. When they had that triangle here, you guys remember when I was live and I said most likely they're gonna break this and send it all the way to 66-ish. I don't know if you guys were, whoever was online or live, but they did that. You know, they executed pretty nice, right? They popped it and they executed all the way to 66, so that was good. So same thing here. If they lose this guy here, then look at the trading right now. So most likely you're gonna get a pop here. Seems like they're waiting for news some kind. You break this range, most likely you're gonna go to this POC here, VPOC. If not, you have the PD value area low and then the CPOC here. So I would say they're progressing value areas higher with volume right now. And the POCs are moving up. I just don't like that. You know, when you think about this profile here that we had, let me go in 15 minutes for a second. So you're dumped from a P shape and you go up from a B shape. A little bit opposite, right? So, and we're out of sync, I would say, between NQ and ES. I don't think we're perfectly at the moment. So Is there news tomorrow? Oh, there's big news tomorrow.
Yeah, we got PCE.
PCs tomorrow.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what they're waiting for. Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, this is a big day tomorrow, dude. And Monday we're off, just so you guys know. Yeah, so this is a big day. It feels like that's why you're not getting any movement overnight. It's because of that. I didn't know what PC is tomorrow, but it looks a little like it's waiting for something. So I would watch for this for tomorrow. If you see us lose this 53, I would say pretty high chance you're gonna dump all the way down to at least the VPOC, and then you target the SIG. And if you hide these guys, right, and you just focus, let's say, on from the low, the first low here to the high, let's say to this high. Look at this now. So heavy volume here, right? And then you see how they're defending this. They're losing it and they reclaim it quickly. And here, same story, right? They're trying to push this price higher, but the buyers are not finding much volume here. And then you see here, there's a lot of single prints on the top side. And what does that mean?
There's trapped buyers up there.
Gonna move fast.
Just an aggressive seller sitting there. He's other time frame seller. He's just taking it down, and all the short time people can't even compete. He just pushes back down as soon as it comes. Okay. So what I was talking about today, I'm gonna create a couple of small videos, maybe 30-second videos on some of the stuff that I'm seeing, like when you guys are trading, recognizing certain things that are coming up. Like today, I don't know, did anyone take that 53 trade when we are looking for the bounce?
Yeah, I took it.
Yeah. So, and I don't know who would see that, right? And it's hard for me to gauge. I don't post in the chat to be like, hey man, look, we nailed it. I post it so I know if you're able to recognize this while you're trading live. When you finish trading, right? Let me just go out of here and let me go here. It's much easier to see the patterns and crap playing out once you're, I would say, done with the trades, right? It's much easier to see. But when you're trading live, I would say that it's important for you guys to actually recognize it and be able to spot it, right? Because that's the only way you're going to make money in the market is if you're trading live. You're not going to make money, trading off of, post days, right? And even today, when you're looking at this, that I mentioned live, there's a high chance we come back here and we bounce off of the 40. You guys remember this? It was the same concept. I said it was an accumulation and it's our POC, the CPOC there. And it was a pretty good one. And if you think about it, here's this level here, 43. We know the 37, 39 area is fairly important because it's CPOC. And I mean, look at that. They popped it every single time they came back. And then the second time here, as I was signing off, I said, this is, I think, dumpster right before you left, if you're still on. I mentioned this is not a bad reward here. If you're putting this and putting right below a couple of points, it was a really, really good RR that you can take this, even if you target the next liquidity. If you're grabbing this long, for instance, let's say you grabbed it, that was 39 was the level that we had, let's say 40 here. And you're putting this, and let's say you're targeting next liquidity up. I mean, that's a pretty good trade, right?
Can I ask a question, Shorty?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I did end up taking this trade right here. I think I took it 2 or 3 times. The third time, I was very quick to cut it because my thinking was
this one here.
Right. the one I should have held is the one I cut quickly.
No, I don't think so. I think this one is actually good. What you did, I would say this is pretty. Where'd you cut? Did you cut at least here, or you cut immediately somewhere?
I think I cut like within the first two candles because I was playing SPX 0 DTE and I did not want to lose.
Different. No, that's
Yeah.
different, man. And I think you do the right thing with SPX. So think about it. If you can do the SPX, let's say, I don't know how many contracts you trade. Let's say minimally one. If you can catch 3 times, $150, that's $450, dude. You
Yeah.
do that 5 times a week.
Right.
There's no harm in that, right? That's
I
totally
guess
okay. What you get better at as you gain more confidence, then you see it more repeat, right? And I don't preach log your trades for no reason. If you see your trades logged, then you're like, yep, I took it off the accumulation zone that was here, right? So if I just kind of grab this area right here, I took it off of this area and I put it below the value area low. I mean, yeah, sure. If that's the documentation in your log, and you take that and you see over time that this is successful, and you can figure out the target of this multiple ways. How would you know where to take profits? Let's see. I can name 15 ways. Where
probably
is this going to go to?
Well, probably the accumulation zone where it dumped from. So I'd take a POC up there.
Okay, so let's see. So we dumped from here to here initially, right? So from here to here, there's besides this right here, right? So if you took it here, I don't know if you would take this trade for 4 points, at least.
No.
I don't.
Yeah.
The only node that's higher here on the lowercase b is this one here. So I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Right? So here's this volume node. So this is the only volume node that has some meat to it. And look what happened the whole day.
Yeah. And I think that the reason I didn't hold the third one long was because the first 2 times, I mean, my thinking was this, the demand down there is not strong enough, even though that's the CPOC. The first 2 times it only bounced like, I don't know, 7 or 8 points each time. And so the third time I said, it's probably not going to go very far, but I just took one contract and, I cut it for like, $70 or something. So.
Okay. Well, if you're playing with expensive contracts where, maybe try SPY and try one where you logically think, same concept. Okay, I'm planning the trade. I don't know if you saw the trade that I took. It was 53 to 66. Stop loss
I saw
was
that.
48.75.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to place everything there and let it hit. And if I get stopped out, then my trade and my, probabilities didn't work. And try that with smaller position. Try with SPY. And once you see it work out a few times, I think it boosts your confidence, especially when you have this little thing here and it starts like highlighting green and it starts going like this, and you reach the target and you close. There's no better feeling than when that happens, honestly. So try that with small, like, SPY today was, let me go back to SPY for a second. Just gonna go regular here in SPY. So here was SPY, right? I don't necessarily have the levels on SPY, but let's say this was the open, right? So here's your high of the day or whatever. But if you look here, right, I think the VWAP for today was flirting with like 413, then it went to like 414 or something like that. So we can probably find it here. We were rejected a couple of times. So here's the 413. You could have played between 413 and 415 all day on SPY contracts. So the idea, you could have tried it, right? One time with the $30 contract. And I don't think you care if you lose 60% of that contract. You can afford to lose that, right? If you're able to play SPX, you can lose, I don't know, I'm thinking 60%, which is $18 on a contract. And you would be okay. But you use those to test your theory to make sure the confidence is building up on waiting and patiently taking the full trade. Once you start taking full trades to a full target, that's when your account really starts picking up. Because the key is not to invest more to make more, it's to invest less to pick up more. And once that, and I'm not saying this is going to happen in a month or two. Everybody's different, but this is the one that takes time. Because people, your blood starts boiling and you're like, man, I'm up this and that. And the first thing especially if you've been hurt before, by market, the first thing in the trader's mind is fear. I don't want to lose what I have. Right? You start thinking about not losing, but instead you should focus on the probability of your setup. If you start thinking that way, I think it might change a little bit for you, and you might play these setups, all the way. So if you think about this, here's SPY. I'm just gonna do this. So here's SPY here. So this was a pretty good POC on it, right? They went below it, they tapped the value area low, and if they came here multiple times and they defended it, some people say they're taking out the number of contracts or whatnot, but is that the same thing? Is that true on value? When you think about value and touching the bottom, is that true? When you think about supply and demand, people are going to say, hey, they're taking hits out of demand. 1 hit, 2 hits, 3. How many has anyone heard that? Like, oh, we tapped this so many times, we made it weak.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard that before from Twitter experts?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Well, okay. Now, what happens if the price keeps going to value area low, which means it's not a fair value, it's too cheap, and the price bounces from there every time? Is the story and the message the same or different than the one that I just mentioned about supply or demand getting weakened by taps? Is it the same message or it's different?
It's different.
It's totally different.
Different.
One is telling you anytime you come to this value where unfair price comes in, what happens? If the peanut butter went down too low, the auction, they're going to start buying, right? Same thing with you. If there's an item that you want, let's say some kind of watch, and they have 80% discount, well, I mean, you'd be stupid not to buy it if you've been wanting it instead of paying the premium at 100% or more. So it's the same.
So you don't look at that as like that area becoming quote unquote weaker each time it's tapped. You look at it as unfair price, so more people are going to come here and buy.
Yeah, I'm looking at this simply from price action and mainly value. And if you think about it, besides a few tickers that we have, it really is about value. All those stocks that ran high, I mean, there's a couple of I hate, right? Like Upstart. I mean, think about it. What happened here? They didn't find it. I mean, they quickly found no value here. And then they tried to establish new value, and they said, man, there's no value here. And then they brought here, they accumulated. They basically holding $11. And I'm pretty certain it's headed back to $11. And the same concept applies to any other stock, right? I mean, is there value in this product? Price and value are totally different, right? Once you as a trader are able to distinguish difference between price and value, you will grow exponentially. And it's the hardest skill to gain. Price can break out, but if the value is not shifting, guys, I promise that price is coming back down. And we've seen at least a couple of examples this year. I think there was one recent when price popped, value stayed, and it wasn't budging, it wasn't shifting. Right? But I would say, Wendell, try with smaller contract SPY. When you see a good setup, play your SPX and try to compound your account, right? Because the setups will give you the money, but use smaller to kind of reiterate, yeah, this works. Then try 2 contracts to SPY, set up 2 levels, trim here, keep 1. Because those little habits will replicate, and then you're going to gain trust and be like, okay, I know where SPX is going, right? I'm going to hold it. Yeah. And don't go, against yourself logically. Yeah, I just want to hold it because it's going to make money. You shouldn't target the money, target the levels. Right? Yeah. So if you think about this, on ES, I just grabbed top to bottom. Well, I talked about this a lot, and I talk every time. If these are pockets of, liquidity, well, there's a couple of pockets below. What happens if you reclaim this one here? You don't need anything else on your chart, guys. I promise here. This is all you need.
Yeah.
You reclaim it, you're going up more than
I
likely.
guarantee you with your probability to be successful in this trade, if you're to do this tomorrow, we're going to come to this shelf, watch this 41.76, and we have to bounce a little bit higher, right? You want to grab at 41.67 and then do this. This would be a great trade. This would be a hell of a trade. And where do you put your stop loss? So if this is our entry right here, right? This would be a good entry.
Below that shelf.
So now you go here. Okay, well, you can go here for about 2.8. This would be the highest probability trade, and it's 2-to-1. If let's say you're like, okay, well, 2-to-1 is not something I trade. I mean, you can manage this right here. It's a pretty big shelf. It's pretty, wide. So, and if you look at this, you could find even exact way to put it. So here's your POC. And if I want to just kind of find these guys, where's the value area high and low? Okay, so this one is here, and this is probably, let's do 68. Oh, I extended, right, damn it. So here's your value area low. So you could say, hey, if you break this right here, this body of these equal lows, I'll just get out, and that'd be not bad, 379. You could play it like this, but the higher probability is if you give a little bit of room, right? Let it work out. Even this 2.5 is not bad, and let this play out. I would just leave this, let it hit, put an order where it's supposed to hit, and go ahead. Just enjoy the trade.
Shorty, I actually did that same thing earlier today. I grabbed the high to the low, and I shifted the low to one candle to the right, and the POC completely shifted down.
Of course. So what I do, I grab the first. If I see that we are not continuously making lower lows, I can, you can. I don't know if you guys can see, but I can sense this is immediate consolidation, even here after two candles. Right? I'm not making lower lows. We're getting a body overlap that we're not stacking here. Once you break this, right, I would say the broken level was here. One would probably call it here. I would use the body of these candles. That was the break, 41.27, right? I don't want to include this. You can, right? If I include this, I just have to note that, there's a high chance that POC is going to be here because it's, during trading hours, it's not overnight or whatnot. But here now, this is a heavy shelf and this is a second heavy shelf. If I want to see just the move itself, then I just grab this and I'm able to see where's the heaviest concentration, so I know where the heaviest sellers will be.
So
And
you placed it at that.
Go ahead.
You put it at the 10:30 candle. That's where you stopped it.
Yeah, I grabbed the lowest low, and you have to go one over to include the candle to the left.
Okay.
Yeah. Only on the right side. On the left side, it grabs the one you're on.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
But for newer people, I don't know, we got a handful of people this month. Sometimes you will see a chart, right? If let's say you're in 2 hours, and this might look, to a lot of you, when you look at this, you're like, man, I just don't know what to do with it. Do you guys ever get in those moments where you're like, dude, what the fuck is this chart? Like,
yes.
Yes.
yeah, and that doesn't come immediately. It really becomes the art. And for me, if you start thinking about boxes, whether it's diagonal like this, or if you think about boxes in a horizontal way, I promise your visuals slowly are going to change. And also another thing that will help you, if you click Ashi candles like this, I think they will help you guys visualize this. And then the best case, what I've talked to you guys before, when I started, I'll be like, okay, well, let me look at these lines. And I thought of them, related to them as mountains, as peaks. And I would say, is this mountain higher than this one? Oh, this one's lower. lower highs and higher lows, it's immediate in my brain is consolidation. Like it just works like that. And when I see this, I'm like, okay, higher highs, higher lows, you're trending up, market structure is up. So if you're structuring up, let's say you popped here, you had this supply here. My interest is from where did you pop? I immediately start looking, where was the imbalance? So for me, the imbalance is this, right?
Yeah.
This is the imbalance that I'm looking. Well, I want to know what caused this imbalance. From what accumulation was it? And now if I look, I can grab this whole thing here, or I can grab just this right here. There's no right or wrong. So all I have to do is, okay, here's this POC. So 3988. Okay. And now just notice I am on, 2 hours, right? I'm on a 2-hour chart. So it's not something that you expect to happen, day to day, right? This takes time, right? So this accumulation happened in March. So basically 2 months ago, we accumulated here and we haven't been back to this value at all. So now when you think about it, this was your accumulation. This was your markup, right? This is the bidding. Somebody's lifting the prices up. Then they came here and they accepted new value, right? So they were in here. The whole thing here was the value. And now you see them, they shifted, right? So they shifted from this range. Let me use this so you guys can see it. They shift from here to here, right? So they shifted and they found new value to be in this range. Now I can use this guy.
Yeah.
So now if you think about it, if they lose this range, what does the rule of value say? If I lose this range bottom here, this is the value area now. This is a newfound value area.
Yeah.
If you lose it, you're going back in the other range.
Back to the other value range.
There's a very high chance you're going to visit the bottom of this. Psychologically, why is that?
Because it was a
You
previous.
couldn't hold the upper extremes, so you're gonna go back to the other end.
Okay, put yourself in seller's shoes. Think from seller.
Yeah.
You're selling here. Why do you want the price to go here?
Because I need to buy more stuff,
And
and I don't want to pay too much.
Price. Exactly.
Need more peanut butter.
So
he wants to get more for a buck. There's a
Short-
very high chance that any time you break between ranges and you fail, you're gonna come to the bottom, guys. First happens the reversion to the mean. The mean is this, right? Let me just extend this to here. So the mean is gonna be right there, right? At 39.90 is the mean of this. So once you do lose this, I don't even know the percentage you can test this. A very, very strong chance you're gonna be here very quickly.
Shorty,
and then you lose this, you go bottom.
This is just like the daily where you break out the prior day above the trading range and you fail the breakout and you're going to more than likely go all the way down.
Yeah. You're talking about the
80% rule. The 80% rule where you
basically,
only
So-
on a bigger scale.
correct. Same concept, guys. You can go in 3 minutes. I promise it works the same way. Here, you can find many of these examples to work the same way. So here's the, you should be able to notice. Let me switch to Ashi so you guys can see it. Here's your accumulation right here. You accumulated. So if you draw a POC here, if you're a scalper, right? Once you come back here, you're looking to short. Well, let's see. So you came here. I'll just go regular candle so you can see the price action. They stopped you out and then they popped, right? Once they lost it, they trapped you here again. You lost. You would have been 2 for 0 if you traded off of this level right here. But this is also before market open. So you guys know that I don't put equal weight to pre-market accumulations as I do during the regular hours. And you guys should also put more weight on regular hour volume. But here, if you look at it, you accumulated here for a moment. This would have been a successful trade here. You came, and I mean, you came back to the liquidity zone and it worked, right? So you came right to that. So you grab this one, and then did they revisit this one here? So watch this. They didn't come here. They haven't been to this level here. So there's a high chance, let me just shift this one here. There's a high chance they're gonna be coming here at 41, 42. Just, I'm not looking at anything else, guys. I'm just looking for accumulations and supplies. This supply here, right here, that was pre-market, what happened to it? Oh, they explored a price much higher than that, right? This is the high of that, and they went higher. They didn't like it, but they explored, they accumulated, they tested it again. And the only thing that I'm seeing here, anytime we popped from the top and they rejected, you know, we took out this low, I would say we're still okay, right? Once they lose this low, then we're gonna know this supply is somewhat active. But this demand here, what did it do?
It went and took out that pre-market.
Yeah, it took out this pre-market high. If you think about it on 3 minutes, this was your structure at this moment. If you consider this is your change of character. They closed above every couple of candles. So now you see them dumping here. If they come back here, why wouldn't I be a buyer here, right? And especially because you know more data here, right? I wasn't gonna go into it, but there's a lot more to it, right? You have that POC at 41, 39, 38, remember? So you're coming to look at that dump. Holy moly.
Wow.
Well, I'm kind of thinking, should I trade this or not?
What happened?
They might execute it right now.
Okay, guys.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. I just said we're gonna break that square earlier. If we do, did I say we're gonna go here?
Oh, that was right where I had to buy. I wasn't expecting this.
To buy it right here?
47, yeah.
I don't know why 47.
I'll have to look too.
Let me see. Is this one? No.
Oh, it was
Well,
VAL. That's why.
45 for me, but yeah. Now you're gonna make me check. Yeah, my VL's there. We're about to tap this here. Holy shit, that was a good trade. Excuse my
Yeah,
language.
PBOC.
Yeah, they're watching our watch list. Yeah, seems like it. Knowledge seeker caught that. Watch this bastard. Watch. Let me hear him.
I made 8 million. Fuck.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm sorry guys, but this is looking pretty good.
So Shorty, in this situation, you would try to buy right there at par day value area low. Would you want it to lose it and then reclaim?
I wanted to lose it and reclaim it and then go along.
Right.
I want to know that they're serious buyers before I'll be the first one to do a price discovery.
Yeah. Okay.
No, technically I
There has
was.
to be news for this.
Say it again.
There has to be some news for this term. I don't know.
Yeah, it must be something with PCE or the deal or something.
Well, I don't know who's got news up.
Yeah, it's PBOC. Something.
There's no news.
Yeah, it's one.
Somebody knows something.
There's no news that I see. Well, some always, yeah, but it's not a big.
But then if it gets to that 41, 42 area where you had that accumulation set up, that you would take on the first tap, right?
This one here?
Yeah, basically, yeah, the
This one,
CPOC, right?
Yeah, I would.
Right. Okay.
Let me make sure this is. I think we're on a smaller time frame earlier.
Yeah, I think we were on 3 or 5 minutes.
So yeah, I would look for this range. I'm just gonna see how they respond here right now. You see how they slow down a little bit. Yeah. So. This would be a good retest here if we get this. And if we open below PD value area low, what does that tell you for tomorrow?
Bearish.
Bearish. And if you break the PDL, think about it. If you break the PDL, same concept here. Means you didn't like this area, right? You're rejecting. Where do you go? To the previous
level. Next value below.
And what happened in previous value area?
They accumulated.
And
Well, they rejected this area.
Mm-hmm.
So now they might give us some range, right? If, this whole thing becomes your new range, it's 50 points, reaccumulation a little bit lower. So you're accumulated here, you didn't like it. Now you're accumulated here tiny to see if you have some buyers, if you can expand. They didn't like it. You accumulate it again and they're like, okay, well, this is not fair. Let's bring it back up. And now they're trying to bring it up to another level and they said no. Because if this is the previous accumulation, this little box, seems like they tried that range again and they got rejected. Does that make sense? So now they're going to go here probably. If they lose CPOC, I am pretty certain you can catch this and I will catch it all the way to 41.17. Yep, so this is a gap protection here right now that they're doing. Okay. All right, well, hopefully this helps. Just keep an eye on PowerPoint. I'm gonna try to upload it at least tonight. I'm gonna go work on it now to add more stuff to it, and then I'll upload incrementally to it.
Thank you, Shorty.
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Thanks
Jordan.
for
Thank you, Shorty. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everyone.